I want to give a shout out to Cenk Uygur. This is an epic Cenk Uygur clip. Trust me, you guys are actually going to love this. Alan Lichtman, the guy in the middle, is the Nostradamus of politics. He is the most arrogant, elitist, credentialist person I've ever heard. I'm a professor. I'm the expert. Don't you tell me. And he predicted Kamala would win. When he gets told that the keys to the election, as he describes it, were wrong, he loses and says, no, they weren't. You gotta hear this clip. This is the cope from some Democrats is so thick, you will enjoy it.
Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were not right, and I was not wrong. And that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be taking cheap shots at me.
Who won?
You want to make your point,
live
make your
in
point.
A total
Don't make
world
it personal.
of denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah,
so quiet with your personal attacks.
Come find out again.
Make whatever point you want. Don't make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
You attacked me personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program, I've never been able to finish a thought.
How many books have you published?
That's because there's laughing.
Did you hear that? You're personally attacking me again.
Look what he just said.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program, I've never been able to finish.
Professor for 51 years, published 13 books. He's telling Cenk he's right about his predictions that Kamala Harris was supposed to win, and he's published all of these books. And Cenk's just like, dude, you're wrong.
How many books have you published? No, because you're personally attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for
brother, you got it wrong. You were preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just finish a goddamn thought ever on this show?
No, not if you're personally. I admitted I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say, it's great to see you Democrats all getting along so well.
So this kind of goes on, but I'm really enjoying the Alan Lichtman arc because he's giving us this endless stream of very extreme cope and seethe. The dude stakes his career on being right about elections. After he was wrong, he makes this video where he's like, I was wrong. I own up to it. We'll take some time to assess how we got these wrong, and we'll figure it out. Instead of coming back being like, here's what I misunderstood, he comes back like, actually, I wasn't wrong at all. Elon Musk interfered in the election with billions of fake news manipulations, and that's actually why the keys didn't work right. But 160 years of history were changed by Elon Musk.
And the proof is, I'm a professor.
Exactly. And I've written 13 books and been a professor for 51 years, so I know better than you. But this clip is excellent cope and seethe. See, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, they get it. I think they've been seeing the writing on the wall for some time. There are some liberal personalities, I think, like Free Press and Barry Weiss. They saw this a few years ago, and they're like, guys, the left is going crazy. And then obviously there's people like Carl Benjamin. There's people like me or Joe Rogan. Varying degrees of individuals who were on the left or liberal and then being like the left, the Democratic Party's gone nuts. Cenk Uygur is now sitting here he was saying this before the election. He thought Trump was going to win. He was making these predictions. However, he, like many other liberals, have only started becoming more aggressive in their description of things, now realizing just how wrong they were and how badly they lost.
Biden's dementia, I don't know if he actually has dementia, but when it finally came out and all of the news media,
decline is fair.
When they all acknowledged his decline, that was when everybody was like, the jig is totally up now. And I think Cenk has always desired the truth, but being in an echo chamber, sometimes your truth is distorted by your chamber. So he's seen what he's seen. And for a lot of people, it was hard to accept that the avatar of truth in this system, the least worst situation was an entertainer with a potty mouth. Because it's like, I want a good guy that makes me feel nice, not a guy that screams she's a fat pig and like gets all the attention and like gets to win and he was the bully on the plate. I don't know if Trump was actually a bully or not. I don't think he was, but I don't know.
It
was hard for some people to accept, but I think that's why some people are slow to come around to it. And as a final thing, I want to say about Piers Morgan's show. Great people, great guests. I love Piers. You need to fix your lag, buddy. Because these guys are overlapping because there's a 2-second lag. They can't hear each other for 2 seconds. It makes this a fucking clown show. So fix that shit. You get 1 million views a video. I still love you, but fix that. Unless you want them to look ridiculous on purpose, because the thumbnails have them all with their mouths open, looking like idiots. I don't know, but please fix the lag.
That's the pressing issue.
Fix the lag.
I don't want these guys, Cenk, to be like, why can I never finish a statement on this show? It's because there's lag. It's 2 seconds go by.
No, it's because Piers' show is designed around people screaming at each other.
I think it happens because of the lag, because they like if I had to wait 2 seconds to hear what you said and you're like, he's not responding, I'm going to keep going, and then I start to talk over you and we're like, what in the hell?
Well, this is one of the reasons we don't do digital interviews like this. It really doesn't work. And I did this like 2.5 years ago. I did a show with Ben Shapiro for his show, and we recorded it, and then I had to mail a disc because it was a heavy like 4K file or something, and we didn't have the internet. We only had 20 megabits up, and so when it was only 20 megabits. It's crazy. So when we were doing it, it's like you talk for a little while and you wait, and then you have to decide when to stop talking so they can then respond. But when you're in a room with someone, you can see what they're going to do or whatever.
Yeah.
But enough about that. I'm just here to bask in the. There are two sides to this post-election cope and seethe. There's the Bill Maher, Jon Stewarts, Cenk Uygurs, and Charlemagne. They're all being like, geez, Trump, we knew it. The Democrats are crazy. And then you have the inverse, which is the Kyle Kalinskis, the Alan Lichtmans, the screaming and refusing to back down, saying, we got to go harder on woke. We got to be more mean.
Well, let's assess what the left is. And I said this before you went to the video. The left is the Wizard of Oz. And by that, what I mean is the image that they project is not who they really are, right? And what they do is they rule with fear. And they can ostracize you, they can get you canceled, they can get you fired, et cetera, et cetera. But they actually don't exist. And this is something that I've noticed is that, especially online, much of the support and much of the vitriol comes from bot farms. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was calling them Kamala bots, right? And so these aren't real people. And you saw that in the election where is that large left? But the main ways they control is through professors, right? So you have grade school, high school, and then, of course, you get to university. And a lot of that indoctrination of liberal politics happens, obviously, at the university level. And even, for example, when Trump won the first time, my kids came home from school and they were all sad. And they were like 6 at the time. I'm like, why are you guys sad? And they were like, something Trump. And I'm like, why do you guys even know about that? So even if you don't teach that at the grade school level, the kids pick up the vibes, right? And they understand, well, Trump has to be bad, and if Trump's bad, then this must be good. But when we look at the aftermath, the bots, the media, it has created an illusion because people actually thought Kamala had a chance to win. They created an illusion to these people, and many of them are boule, intelligentsia, aristocrats, higher income individuals. These aren't your everyday people. So when we talk about Democrats and you talk about, radical leftists, that's not your average Democrat. You ask an average Democrat about how they feel about sharing bathrooms with another group of people, they're like, nah, that's not cool. But another thing, the pronoun situation, right? Now you see in corporate America, you got to have your pronouns in your signature, et cetera, et cetera. People are fearful. They're like, I think I have to do this, right?
Yep.
So it comes back to the Democrats rule with fear, and they're just a big Wizard of Oz. And if we can pull back the veil and say, look, this is a little man, and he's harmless, I think that's when we can start to have some normalcy.
That's the popular vote.
Did you see AOC took her pronouns out of her bio, too?
She did it about a year ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so people started showing her super old bio and then claiming she just took her pronouns out.
Oh, okay,
and then I pulled up the archives and their pronouns were removed a year ago.
So, sorry to interrupt. You were saying the popular vote is the incision of...
That's why it was so important. That's why I was stressing that. Because this is the reason why... Look, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million, and that's why they went anti-Trump. They said, that's the minority, we're the majority, they won by accident. 2020 comes around, Biden gets 81 million, popular vote, wins. They say, we're the majority. 2024 comes around, Trump wins the popular vote, Republicans win everything, and now all of a sudden I'm on the winning side. They're always on the side that they think is the majority. That's why they go out in the streets and scream, "You're on the wrong side of history." That's their greatest fear.
And it's
Supreme grifting.
Oh yeah,
the power of an echo chamber. If you don't get enough volume, the echo's not produced. And once you get enough volume, the more volume, the greater the echo. I mean, so if they fail to get the whatever you want to call it, the status quo, then it just doesn't appear.
I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate, and I'm sure that the chat's going to have a field day with this. But this is actually the goal, right? To change people's minds. Now, I'm sure that there are plenty of people that are changing, and they're doing it for money. They're doing it for monetary reasons. They're doing it to save their jobs. They're doing it to save, save face because they want to be on the right side. I'm 100% aware of that. I totally agree. I'm not saying that that's not happening. But you don't change hearts and minds without that happening as well.
Yeah.
When you actually are successful, when you put in the effort to say, no, our opponents are wrong, and they're wrong here, and they're wrong here, and they're wrong here, and then you actually convince the voter, and you see it play out in the actual election, the way that we just did, that's a victory, and it's going to create downstream effects. And some of those downstream effects are going to be people that are grifters, people that are looking to save their butts, looking to just be on the cool guy side. They're going to say, "Oh, we have to change." But this is a symptom of victory. I'm not saying we're done. I'm not one of those guys that's like, the woke is destroyed. That is absolutely not true. This is winning a battle. This is not winning a war. But it is evidence that we can win.
We saw a huge culture shift directly after the results of the election. One of them was raging feminists practicing abstinence. And we're like, that's what we've been wanting, right? And then what was the other example? Another guy said, we have to arm ourselves. And then in the black community, we were saying this for a really long time. They kept grouping us with other groups of people and calling us POC, POC, POC. And you get Joyanne Reed and others saying, it's no longer POC, it's just black people. And I'm like, thank you. So Trump's already made America great again, and he's already made feminists great again, and he's made black America great again. Just from those three examples, it's like they've turned into conservatives by losing.
I also think that kind of along what you were saying, Phil, with the way people are maybe not shifting allegiance, but the way people are like, now I'm supporting whatever's happening, the new popular thing. You got to be discerning about who you elevate to positions of power, either in your own life, who you're going to pay attention to, who you're going to believe when they talk. Because the people that were saying one thing 4 months ago and they're saying a different thing now, you got to question if they're worth listening to. I'll put myself in that camp. I was very blatantly on the fence. And that was, I knew immediately when I wasn't voting for Biden. And when they selected Kamala, I wasn't voting for that. But I was always saying I was going to be on the fence. I do a lot of social subversion, but you don't have to believe me either, because I wasn't in full support of, I'm always going to get behind what I believe, that's for sure. But I will, unfortunately, I will mess with you. I do that on purpose just because I feel like if you're too obvious, it's like charging a machine gun nest. But the point still stands. Be discerning about who you put your faith in.
I want to jump to this next story. Before I do, I want to mention this one super chat. Scott House said, place time clocks behind guest and your head to prevent clips out of context. This is a fix from last night's conversation. I got a better idea. I'm going to make an analog random number generator. So it looks like a standard analog clock, but it will every minute just jump to random positions. So no matter what happens, anytime someone pulls up a clip of me, the clock will be changing into random ways. So it always looks like it's out of context. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.